Hello and welcome to the Draft Talk podcast. We're back with another top five. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, we're back talking all things NFL draft. It's officially draft season. Everyone else has caught up with us now. Everyone's talking about it. We've been at it for weeks/months. But yeah, let's crack on before we run out of time. It's going to be very soon. I'm your host. I'm the one blabbering on a bit, but these are the two you want to listen to. It's our top scouts, Stu and Owen. How are you guys?
Yeah, all good. They're coming around thick and fast. We're going through them. We're recording lots today to get out as quickly as we can. So yeah, flying through them.
Yeah, and people are always interested in listening to you talking, Brian, as well. So don't put yourself down too much there. But yeah, we are the important guys, so we'll get on to talking about the players pretty soon. But yeah, again, another good group to chat through, and it'd be interesting to hear Owen's thoughts on the corners.
Indeed. Yeah. So top five is relatively simple. If you've not joined us before, the guys have put together their top five at the position, today being quarterbacks. And we're going to go through them five up to one, the top guy in this year's draft. So without further ado, let's get rolling. Stu, I'll give you the honour again.
Starting us off. A couple of episodes in a row, I get the honour. Yeah. So for me at number five, I'm not sure the pronunciation is going to be correct, but Azareye'h Thomas. Azareye'h, there we go. I told you it was going to be terrible. Azareye'h, apologies to Azareye'h if he's listening. Azareye'h Thomas, who is the cornerback from FSU, who was originally at Georgia Tech. So he's 6 foot tall, 208 pounds, not 298 as I had in my typo before we started this. And he is from a footballing family. His brother is also on the Cowboys roster as a safety. So Thomas, so he's someone who has elite length. He's a really rangy, long player who is disruptive at the catch point. I think he's a physical presence in press corner and in run defense. He has got pretty good fluidity for someone his size and quite sharp foot speed. He's able to flip his hips fairly quickly, and he's shown kind of versatility in his coverage schemes. He has a bit of limited ball production. That's why I mentioned he's disruptive at the catch point, but he's only got one interception, so that is something he definitely needs to look at. He's not an elite mover, but his movement I think is sufficient. And he needs to refine his tackling technique for me. I think he throws the pads at it quite a bit rather than wrapping up. But there's a lot to like there. He's really physical, aggressive, and he's one of those kind of cornerbacks who likes to get up in players' faces and to really disrupt the receiver. And I was quite impressed with what I saw with him.
Yeah, 6'2", 198 pounds. He's physically impressive. He looks the part when you're watching film. He loves to get up in players' faces. He likes to press. He gets very handsy at the line of scrimmage.
Bit too handsy.
Which can cause him to be off balance at times. His tackling, he's a willing tackler, but and triggers to the tackle. But you're right, he doesn't wrap up as well as you'd expect him to. He's efficient as a blitzer as well for that reason. I really liked his athleticism and his body control. I thought at the catch point he was able to anticipate and get up and turn his shoulder to get to the ball really quickly. I like that. Really long arms to be disruptive at the catch point, uses that length really, really well. Ball tracking, I really, like I say, really liked his anticipation there, and his athleticism really stood out to me. You could see he's quite aggressive. He has an aggressive mentality, and I think he has the ball skills, but say only one interception. He did only allow 141 yards in coverage this past season, which shows you that he's not letting many catches go past his head. I had him at corner 3. I was really impressed with what I saw with Azareye'h Thomas.
I thought it was reasonably high on him, but you obviously like him even more than I did.
Indeed. Stu, I'll go back to you. I'll let you go first in a minute. Oh, don't worry. Give us your number 4, please.
Yeah, I'm not going to disrupt your order, Brian, so bear with me. So number 4 for me is, again, we're talking about Texas players, and that's Jahdae Barron. He is a 3-star recruit from Austin, Texas, stayed at home, and 2024 was really, I think, his breakout year for the Longhorns. He won the Jim Thorpe Award for the nation's top defensive back, and he was also the MVP in the Texas Beach Bowl as well. He's got a real extensive playing experience. He's played over 2,400 defensive snaps, so he's pretty battle-tested. 5'11", 200 pounds. He's got quite a low centre of gravity. I think he's got really excellent processing and diagnosis of route combinations. He's controlled. He takes proper angles when he's tackling. His technique is much better. We just talked about tackling technique. He'll take down larger players in open space. He's got really good zone defense instinct. He's good at baiting quarterbacks as well. He uses his eyes well. I think he's really good in that slot position where he's able to use that leverage. But he is good with the deep ball tracking as well. And he's been a really good special teams gunner as well. We've seen him do that. I think he's got build-up speed rather than immediate acceleration. And he can be a little bit tight in the hips and sometimes a little bit over-aggressive and susceptible to misdirection. He's also another one who can be quite grabby in coverage. And he maybe just has a slightly smaller frame than some of these guys, but I think his instincts and IQ are really good. And I think he's probably going to go reasonably high, actually.
Yeah, he's incredibly smart. He's a natural playmaker in the secondary, able to take the ball away, can impact all levels of the field. You're going to have some debate over whether he might be best as a safety. You're already seeing that some people rank him as a safety because of those instincts. But he's going to be able to offer you versatility as a secondary weapon because of that awareness, the high motor, the intelligence. I thought there was a lack of movement skills on tape where he maybe didn't have the change of direction and the hip flexibility that others do in this class. I also have him at corner 4 for that reason. I think he's twitchy when operating in the box because he just dropped down to that safety role, but I'm not sure he has the reliable long speed to travel with receivers from the line of scrimmage, which is why I could completely understand why someone would have him ranked as a safety to let him play off man a little bit more.
Good stuff. Okay, Owen, it's your time to shine. Your number 5 for us, please.
5 for me is Shavon Revel from East Carolina. A really tough evaluation, actually, because he suffered a season-ending injury just 3 games into the season after coming through the summer with a lot of fanfare. He still has the skill set to be a high pick, and I'm inclined to think that if he was played a full season, we would be speaking about him a lot more. But I'm not willing to put him any higher before we get those medical checks. We might get some more information at the combine. Hey, you might be listening to this and we already have that information because we're recording before they've tested. But he's an extremely talented corner with instincts, ferocious physicality, and elite twitchy athleticism. He has the foot speed, he has the body control, he's flexible, and he's really long as well, 6'3", 393 pounds, but uses that length to disrupt. In those 3 games, he had 8 tackles and 2 interceptions. So fantastic overall athleticism, showed the ball skills, body controls, able to sink his hips, different dives, almost like Anchorman. Can he play dodge? Oh, Anchorman. Can he play a dodgeball? Where can we throw everything at him? Very good a straight line speed, and I would trust him at the line of scrimmage as well. So he's number 5 for me. I just wish he would have had a clean year.
Wait, it's taken me this long to not take myself off mute. Yes, he's had a really interesting story. He was a JUCO program athlete who worked overnight at an Amazon warehouse before he went along to ECU trials and was picked up there. He had to boost his academic grades before they'd let him play football, and he worked really hard to do that as well. So he's obviously very committed to things. He's got elite length and stature for a corner. He's got exceptional speed and dynamism. He's really heavy hands and press coverage. His hip mobility is excellent. He's got really good upper body strength. He is super highly competitive, and you'll fit the run as well. He sometimes likes wrestling a bit too much, though. He has had a lot of penalties. He, even at the press release, he will get tagged at times if he doesn't clean that up as well. I hate the fact that he's injured his knee, but I loved what I saw Shavon Revel. I've gone as high as 2 with Shavon Revel. Wow. I think just that, I absolutely love him from what I've seen. Have I gone overboard with him? Possibly. I don't really care. I think he's a fantastic corner. If his knee checks out, he is going to be a really good player for some team. I really like him, and I think he can handle all sorts of receivers. Put him up against your biggest receiver. He's quick enough to run with quick receivers. He's savvy enough to deal with route craftsmen. Yeah, I really like Shavon Revel.
Yeah, it's those medicals that are going to be there, going to be absolutely huge for where
it's an ACL, which we've seen a lot of people come back from. It's not an injury that I have huge concerns about. We've seen so many people come back from these and be very good following on from it. But again, we don't know what we don't know.
No, and he could have gone on. So I should say when we were speaking about his character there that he had a lot of offers to leave East Carolina to go to one of the top schools, and he decided to stay with the Pirates. So credit to him for doing that. Not the season he would have wanted, but talk about a ball of clay that a defensive backs coach wants to get a hold of and mold to what he needs. That's Shavon Revel.
Okie dokie. Stu, who's your number 3? Please?
Yeah, so my number 3 is Will Johnson from Michigan. He is a player who also followed in his father's footsteps, who also played at Michigan. And he was the kind of defensive MVP of Michigan's championship winning team from a year ago. He's got 3 seasons of starting experience. 6'2", just about that 200-pound mark. Definitely had a better 2023 than he did have 2024. And it doesn't necessarily worry me, but is that drop off for a reason? What's kind of been going on there?
Yeah,
I think he's on a worse team
as well.
He was playing in a much worse team. He does have injuries.
He only played 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, he has elite football IQ in zone coverage. He's got really good ball skills with game-changing play capability. He's a physical tackler. He maintains his backpedal integrity really well. He's a patient with more technique approach. Again, we're talking about grabbing. He does like a bit of grabbing and a bit of
they all do. That's a theme with college corners.
He does tend to look for the interceptions a bit too much for me, and that can sometimes lead to him affecting his positioning. I don't think he's quite got as good a change of direction. He does have straight line speed and can sometimes be a little bit stiff in his brakes. But if he comes back to the 2023 Will Johnson, I think if he'd had that other season, he would be pushing up higher for me.
Yeah. 2 for me. I really like Will Johnson. I think he's great. I think he's one of the best players in this draft. 9 interceptions in 3 seasons. Not 1 in 2024, which shows you how productive he's been. He's extremely intelligent. He anticipates. He's got good awareness. He's patient to know when to activate the downhill trigger. That I know essentially he almost gambles at times to try and make plays on the ball, but I feel like he does that at the right moments. That I don't mind it, because rarely do you see him gamble incorrectly. So at some point he's not gambling and he just trusts his instincts. Versatile. I think you'll be able to line them up inside and out. But yeah, it's that anticipation, it's the physicality, it's the ball hawking tendencies. He can get breakups at the catch point because of that physicality, and because he's got the long body as well. It's just elite in coverage. I think he would be challenging for a top corner in most other classes. We just got an excellent prospect at the top here. but I'm big on Will Johnson.
There we go, which means we have one left, which means we have a joint number one. Who could it be? Fine. Well, tell us who it is.
Yeah, it's Travis Hunter, who the Heisman Trophy winning receiver / corner. We'll have the discussion first, shall we? We clearly both evaluate him as a corner. Yes, he could be an adequate wide receiver, but I would prefer him to play corner and then enter on offense in sub-package roles. Not in every game, but on specialist plays, because his ball skills and his instincts are some of the best I've evaluated at the position. And you have to maximize that at the corner position, that he is a receiver playing corner and he anticipates better than prospects we evaluated for several years now. Elite athlete. I don't think you're going to get the 40-yard dash that many people think that they're going to get with him, but I don't think he needs it. High IQ, situational awareness, know how to make plays on the ball, twitchy athlete, really good short area change of direction skills, just a true ball hawk. 6 interceptions in 2024, and that's without his receiving profile, which is over 1,000 yards. 6'1", 185 pounds. He's got the length. Okay, he might lack a little bit of raw mass, but who cares? Travis Hunter's just a great player.
I think it's summed up easily in one word, and that's elite.
Yeah.
I think he should play corner, as you said, Owain. You can get receivers like Travis Hunter. You can't get many corners like Travis Hunter, I think is my feeling.
Yeah.
He has got a really wide range of vision of the field. He understands what's going on. He's got great body control. He's fast. He's fluid. He's got instinct. He's got great ball skills. He's almost one step ahead of a receiver because he's almost playing their role in his own head as well. I think he knows what the receiver is going to do because he knows what he would do as a receiver, and that I think that one-ups him as well. His conditioning is unbelievable to play on both sides of the ball. The amount of snaps he's done. He's playing in Boulder, Colorado. I've been to Boulder, and when you say the air is different there, it is true. You'd notice a difference in that air. So if you're being able to play that many snaps at that altitude, that conditioning is elite level as well.
Could it help a certain quarterback throw further than for a different episode?
For a different episode, we shall see.
A certain Colorado quarterback who might not have the arm strength that we maybe think he does.
We shall see. But yeah, I think that you want to play him at corner and sprinkle him in receiver when you've got the opportunity to. It depends what he wants to do as well, because the bigger money is as a receiver. But I think he has a chance to be a really, really special corner. For me, he's number one. He's probably going to be near number one player in this whole draft for me, I think. He's unbelievable. He's not going to be able to do what he did at college at the NFL level, play that amount of snaps. It's just not going to happen. So for me, I think if you focus him on corner and sprinkle him in an offense, yeah, you're going to have a hell of a player.
Yeah, you talk about competitor as well. Go into the combine. He's going to participate in drills. Is still adamant that he's going to play on both sides of the ball in the NFL. He wants to. That's what he thinks he should be doing. He just wants to play football, and I love that.
Indeed. Thank you very much, guys. A few missed matches which we like, but yeah, that's just top 5. Who's missed out? We didn't have number 6 or 7.
Yeah, it is a strong deep group actually. I can't say that there was anyone else close to making the top 5. Benjamin Morrison would have been my next receiver. He was at number 6, but he's had a really unfortunate hip injury. He's had 2 surgeries on his hip, so we really need medical clearance of how that's going. The combine is absolutely huge for him, but if we just take his play in 2023, he was expected to be a top 15 pick, so that doesn't just go away. I still don't quite understand why he's declared, other than he must think that he's going to be medically cleared. But we'll find out more about him. And then there's a bunch of others. Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky. He's a really well-built corner. Dorian Strong, I really like, from Virginia Tech. Denzel Burke is one that's dropped down a lot considering where we thought he was going to be. He's probably day 3 guy now, but there's lots of players and very similar kind of short, skinny, lean corners as well.
Yeah, a couple of the ones. Trey Amos, he's somebody who's a real nasty at the press. He wants to fight, and he's got kind of the size to do so. I think he's got the kind of traits you might want as a starting corner, maybe as a number 2. Darian Porter, another one who's kind of come on the scene a bit later in his career at Iowa State before he's kind of put things all together. He was
a receiver for 3 seasons before moving over. So I think he could be someone who's blazing speed at the combine.
He's got length and speed. He's got natural ball tracking ability. He just doesn't have the experience playing as corner. So he's someone maybe to watch out for that some teams might take a punt on and see that he's got the traits as well.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much. Right, well, before we totally wrap it up, can you remind the good folks of your top 5, please, guys?
Yeah, so I've got Shavon Revel at 5, Jahdae Barron at 4, 3 was Azareye'h Thomas, 2 was Will Johnson, and number 1 is, of course, Travis Hunter.
So same players, different order. Said Azareye'h Thomas at 5, Jahdae Barron at 4, Will Johnson at 3, Shavon Revel at 2, and Travis Hunter at 1.
Well, there we go. Cornerbacks sorted. Up next, tight ends maybe. So look forward to that, and obviously check out our. We've done quite a few now. Previous top 5 episodes. But yeah, until we return, thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. See you soon.